Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nusa Capital coming to you on another cool morning from the Southern Hemisphere. First, let me start by saying that I apologize for not delivering any of the rough and ready yesterday. Very busy yesterday, and so I couldn't do it. Also, forgive me for any echo or any strange sounds you may hear in the background. I am not at home, at my home studio, so I'm quickly recording this in a friend's office so that I can at least get something out to you. Okay, let's get started anyway. So, we'll start off with the crypto market overview. And let's see, Bitcoin standing at 68,067, Ethereum 2,035, Binance 624.11 cents, Solana $85.63, and XRP $1.36. This is going to continue for a while. We're not quite sure what direction. The market's all over the place, but we're making it work. Fear and greed at the moment at 25. Market cap at 2.35 trillion with a 76.28 billion volume. We have an altcoin season at 49. And let's see. Okay. Here the ETFs. There's been a net outflow from the ETFs over the last few days. Bitcoin dominance at 50.2, Ethereum 10.5, and the rest 31.2 combined. So that's that. Let's not waste much time there. Okay, Bitcoin in March, so far monthly returns are 1.17%. It was down from about 2 point something, I think it was 2.96%. I stand to be corrected, but I'm sure you've seen it in the video. At about 2.96%, it's down to 1.17%. So, right, let's have a quick look at some of the on-chain metrics. Okay, this is my favorite one, and I've been monitoring, and you know I've been monitoring this very, very closely. And ladies and gentlemen, it is I'm looking at the true market mean. And if we look there, you can see that true market mean is $78,278. Our realized price at 54,000. Long-term cost basis as of today is, long-term cost basis is 43,558. Short-term cost basis 84,000. Now, as always, I look very closely at the short-term cost basis going below the true market mean. That's the orange line going underneath this teal line here. If this breaks, and you can see that the gap is narrowing. Look at the gap, you can see it there. You can see at 84,329 and you have 78,278 there, as you can see. If that gap narrows completely, then we're almost guaranteed to see the price of Bitcoin fall. I am looking at, as I said, between 50 and 60,000. I would say it hits 50,000 if the price of Bitcoin breaks the realized price, which is sitting at 54,361 at the moment. Again, we go to the past. I've look at what's happened here when it starts breaking there and or how it goes down. And that's what I'm watching for. I don't think it's happened since you've had that, what, it's gone back up here. Well, okay, that was going back up. But there, this is where I'm looking at. November of 2021. And going all the way down, and started going back up at about January of 2023. The only difference here is that if you look at the roughly there, you can see that the MVRV at that time was 0.85, and it's not that far off now. So maybe, just maybe, we might get away. Who knows? But we're not out of the woods yet. As you can see, it's still trading sideways here. even though it's gone up in between, but it's really still a sideways trade, as you can see here. So we are not out of the woods yet. That's something that we have to look at. Now, you may have noticed, excuse me, you may have noticed that, particularly those of you who follow me on Twitter, you would have seen that I'm always talking about the liquidation levels. So we'll get to that when we, excuse me, when we get to the charts. Here, as you know, let's just go here and just see that price. This is what I'm looking at here. When these two cross each other there, let's hide that. So we can see there. You can see that they've come together. And now they've gone apart. Now I'm not quite sure what will happen. So you've got the supply and profit and the supply and loss. It's when these are together, that's when you know that you're hitting the bottom. Now you can see that here, here, and even here. So now it came together briefly, but like I said, and then it went apart. Now I'm not quite sure whether they will come back together, but from what you can see, we have to keep watching very closely before we assume that Bitcoin has bottomed. I am not 100% confident about that at the moment, but we'll get to see. Let's see, I need to open up some other charts here. I think it's this one. Let's see. Yeah, again, forgive me, I am not in my studio, so I'm just sort of winging it here, but trying to get you something. So this is another one here that we're looking at the net realized profit and loss. It tracks the net difference between the on-chain profits and losses realized based on the Bitcoin's spending and buying. Spending and buying going on. And if you look at this, let's hide that. We'll come here, we look at that here. Oh, sorry, we need that. We do that, there we go. Now we can see. You can see net realized profit and losses at minus 5K Bitcoin, and there are more net realized losses than profit. Now, I'm more concerned here. If you can see, if you look at the past, if you look at these areas here, 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 you can see that they've come all the way down to about this area here, minus 40K, roughly, from the past. Now, we've had, if you go back, way back in time, you can see that we've had lower levels, particularly there. If you look at here, this area here, you can see it's very similar. We've had it, and then the price of Bitcoin has gone back up, and it looks like it's going to be like something might happen. And we've got those that are even, we've had it there, we've had it here and here, and it's been lower in these two areas here and here. So maybe this lower level of the net realized losses might just be telling us that we've hit the bottom, but we don't know. It's too early to confirm. The market is too erratic to just accept that explanation. We have to be very careful in how we look at these things. Okay. One more. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the MVRV bands. We've looked at that before. And again, it comes down to this area there, which is the MVRV at -1 standard deviation. That's the area. And that area tells us that once the MVRV mean breaks that point, we're at the bottom. Now, we've come close. Let's just hide the two tips. There, we've come close at one time in the past. But we didn't break that band. So I'm not quite sure whether we need to break that band first. Another thing that we noticed that the price of Bitcoin did not break the MVRV, there. It hasn't broken it, it's broken it here, it broke it there, it broke it here, and it also broke it here. That began to signify the bottoming for Bitcoin. Like I said, we must look at this with caution and not just assume, and wait and see. Now, if it changes, I mean, fair enough. I mean, it's happened in the past where it's just come here to the MVRV of minus 0.5 standard deviation and then gone back up. You know, it bottomed there, and that's way back in, where was this? Let's have a put on the tool. Yeah, so we're looking at about, July of 2013. So maybe we're going to have some repeat to that, we don't know. Time will tell. As time goes on, we'll soon find out. Okay. I was saying in the past, just a few minutes ago, that most of the things that, if you look at closely, has been based on the liquidation levels. So, what I decided to do today is let's look at the charts very quickly and then look at the liquidation levels. So we're going to be starting off with Bitcoin, the 1 week. I'm just going to hide that. I'm just going to open up. As always, we've got our demand and supply zones, and then we're going to be looking at the liquidation levels. Now, for those of you who followed me on Twitter, you would know that I have been talking a lot about the liquidation levels and using them as a guide as to where to trade. And so far, so good. They've been actually quite accurate. So this is why I decided that let's look at liquidation levels today instead of going to some elaborate, going through so many other metrics. Let's just look at that and the charts. So here we've got the charts now. We've got 1, 2, 3 levels, areas of demand and 2 areas of supply. So far so good. The area here, which is between 52,000 and 59,000. I told you that we're looking at Bitcoin between 50 to 60,000. I think it's going to hold at 50,000 before it goes back up. And so far so good. In the last few weeks, we're literally trading sideways, albeit a little bit of demand and supply going on there in this area here. But as you can see, this particular demand area acts as support. If we take a quick glance at our liquidation levels over the last 24 hours, let's see, let's refresh everything. Let's have a look at what it looks like now. So here we go. So here, as we can see, this is one area here, 67,000, 67.2, and these 2 areas up here, 69 and 69,002, 69.2 thousand. And as you can see, the liquidation map indicates these 1, 2, 3, 4 areas with a few areas in between here. Now, where do you think the price could go? I think it might go back up to about the 69,000, between 69 and 69,005. Why? Because those areas of, these are the shorts. We've got about $20.84 million and about 22.17 million in liquidation leverage. So I think that the price might go back up there and then come down to these areas here. But then again, if you look at the amounts, we might just have Bitcoin coming all the way down to 67 and 67.3. Between 67 and 67.3, price might come down there, take up that liquidation, the liquidity there, and then go back up and take out these areas here. And that is what Bitcoin market makers and all the other big institutions, that's what they've been doing, taking out those. So I think it's best if you just trade these areas here. Now, can we determine how it will move directly? We can't. But I won't be surprised if the price comes down because we're at a bit of a, I think, what's the current price? Current price is about 68.2, so I won't be surprised if it comes all the way down to about 67 before going up to about 69. So don't let that surprise you. Again, follow me on Twitter and you will see me talking a lot about that. Okay. let's have a quick look at, let's look at Ethereum. And let's set up our liquidation area here. And let's look at the pair. Okay, we're set. So we'll come there in a minute. Now, again, we've got two areas of demand and one area of supply. And this area here between, I think, about 1,385 and about 1,689. So we're looking at 1390 to about 1690 is our area of support. I think that's the worst case scenario is about 1380 for Ethereum. I don't think it's going to fall any lower. We've got a nice cushion, as I said. We've got a very nice cushion here. Except something really dramatic happens, I can't see that falling below that. Although I can see that we're in the market imbalance when you consider this volume profile, but with this one, we're still within its range. And like I said, we might just hold here. Now, let's look at the liquidation levels. Again, we can see quite a bit. We've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 areas that are quite important. I'm looking at these yellow areas, by the way. And this one that's yellowish green. So at the long liquidation leverage, we've got about 1280, 1559, and we've got about 17.55 million in liquidation leverage. And this are the areas of about 2012 and to the price of about 2022. Now, in terms of our long, because shorts, that were the longs. Our shorts we've got at 16.5 at 2077, at 2083, 18.97 million. We've got some here at 13.84, and then this one up here at about 2108 at 15.4 million. It would not surprise me to find the price falling, and the current price is about 2036. I won't be surprised if it comes down here to take out these areas. It's quite very, very close. 2022, 2000 means very close. So it will not surprise me at all for it to come here. At least take out this area of 2022 with liquidation leverage of about 17.55 million, and then head back up. Take out this small area here of 2057 and all the shorts up here. So it would not surprise me to see the price fall initially before going back up. It looks like it could fall because we've got some low volume here, almost like it's gone up and it's falling this week, and then we're looking at that one here. So I won't be surprised. Coming down to about 2011 is not too far off. So I won't be surprised if that happens before going back up. Okay. Finally, let's look at Solana 1 week, and let's head to let's get our liquidation levels. Okay, that's set. So we've got 2 areas of demand and they overlap, which makes this area very strong at about $20. And we've got an area of supply further up here. As you can see, on the 9th of March, look at that. Look at the fall. That week of 9th March, look at that fall from the price was about 184, coming all the way down to 81. A massive fall. And I don't see much happening. You can actually say this is like a bearish harami. If you look at let's do that, and see, you can see this is a bearish harami there inside. So I won't be surprised if the price comes down to about 74, or maybe even all the way down to what I think it's about 67 here. Let's have a quick look at the liquidation levels. And we can see a long down here at about $84, 84.79, approximately 85. And our shorts up here, 87, 87.7, and 88.19. With fairly reasonable levels of leverage. This area here is about 84 and our price is at about 86. So don't be surprised if you see the price coming all the way down to 84, taking out this long liquidation leverage here before going back up, and do not expect it to exceed about 89 in price. I think that's what you should be looking at. I think perp traders will enjoy trading this. If it hits 84, you can definitely trade it for 89 and sort of make your profits. No financial advice, of course, but this is what we're looking at. Okay, I think what we should do before I go, let's just look at one more thing, and let's just look at BNB. Before we go, we've been looking at it before, so let's just have a quick look at that. Let's set up so that we okay, so BNB again, massive amounts of 1, 2, 3, about 3 areas of demand, and this is the fourth one here, and the fourth one just the way Bitcoin and Ethereum have. Binance also has its own support area, which is between $518 and $600. This is also a sort of, is this a bullish or bearish harami? This is also a harami. It looks like it's a bullish, it's a bearish harami, as we can see. I expect the price to fall, but not fall below 518. I think that's the lowest we are going to go in terms of price when it comes to Binance. And if we look at our liquidation zones, current price at 623. There are quite a few liquidation regions here. 617, 616, 612. It won't surprise me to see the price fall, take out the liquidation leverage here before going up. And yeah, there's quite a bit of reasonable liquidation levels at the, particularly shorts here at about 519.37. Of course, obviously this is not as exciting as if it were Bitcoin or Ethereum in terms of the size of liquidation, but I thought we should just have a look at it to see. And we can just see from our liquidation map that you can see these areas here, here, here. Again, I think we could trade this. The perp traders will enjoy this, taking out the long liquidation leverage here before going and getting hold of the shorts. Anyway, like I said before, trading this market has been a bit ridiculous, but I will tell you this. Look closely at the liquidation leverage and trade accordingly. Again, not financial advice, but it's been working so far. I can tell you, I can definitely tell you for myself, for yours truly, it has been working. I think it can also work for you. Anyway, that's me. So keep your eyes and ears open and you're trading sharp. Have a good one. Bye.